Welcome, mi gente. It's time for Cafecito Break, and we are talking about New York madness, crimes, protests, LIRR strike, vaccine mandates. And we are going to begin with a video from an well-known activist, Uncle Scotty. Are you ready, guys? Because this sort of will epitomize what we are talking about today. So while you guys are watching the video, please take a moment to like, share, subscribe. And yeah, I'm here with Mark and Kozi, and we'll introduce ourselves officially after this video.
Hello, boys and girls. We are here at City Hall. The artist that is successful is the artist that can capture the emotions of his village. Here, in my sculpture that I created, is a gift to the mayor, Ma'am Dandy of New York City, and it's also a gift from the people of New York. I give you Fafangola. We have a gift for you, Mayor Mandandy. Did we bring this in? Try
Welcome to the show. Welcome to Cafecito Break with yours truly, Rosangel of the Perez sisters, and my brothers Mark 4 and Y, Kozi at Kozi's Wellness. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing well, doing well.
Would you guys like to do any little introductions?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you guys know me, Kozi, and that's all I'm going to say right now. Health freedom activist, and we're here every week, 8 p.m. Eastern on Mondays. What's up, Mark?
How's it going, fellow freedom-loving Americans? Mark Friend Y here. Former City Council, State Assembly, U.S. Senate candidate in New York, current trucker, which is where I'm at now, working, and not too far from New York in Ohio. We're in the same time zone this week. But, yeah, I mean, Scott Lebedo, he's been at it for a very long time. Activist, he's a political art messages, as well as there are all the protests, or all the major protests. You see Scotty there, and he organized some himself, and he's there fighting no matter what, no matter how bad New York gets with the Democrat mayors, the destruction by design, as I call it, where they just make the city worse and worse and more reliant on the government, which is their plan. He's over there trying to wake people up, and obviously I commend him for his work in the past, and the fact that he keeps going. He didn't move to Florida or any other state. He's still in New York fighting with you guys. So it's that was good to see that. I mean, Scotty's always got something up his sleeve. So.
Kozi.
That was a well-deserved present to Zoran Mamdani. And we're going to get into his budget, right? Do you want to play his video, or do you want to go right into the story? You let me know how you want to do this.
Absolutely, we're going to play his video. First, I wanted to show you the graphic that Kozi designed, which is what we're going to talk about, because, yeah, he made a great little announcement, which we're going to show you, about him balancing the budget and New Yorkers, some we're happy about this. But, you know, there's always something more to the story, and Kozi's going to give us that breakdown. Pero, before that, let's just hear from Zohran Mamdani himself on his video. So stand by, everyone. Let me bring it up. Okay. And this is a video that he released last week when he made the announcement that him and everyone had made an agreement. And here we go.
It's executive budget season, and I'm proud to announce that our city's budget is fully balanced. This budget isn't just about numbers on a page. It determines if our libraries get funded, if a street is safe to cross, if snow is actually shoveled after a storm. And you deserve to know exactly how we got here. We inherited a $12 billion budget deficit.
We are speaking about a fiscal crisis at the scale greater than the Great Recession.
Was the Great Recession? Great Recession. Many said the only way out of this was slashing services and passing an austerity budget. We rejected that. After months of painstaking work, that deficit is now zero. Our city is now on firm financial ground. We achieved this in two major ways: increasing revenue and support from Albany, and cutting waste and finding savings here in New York City. Thanks to Governor Hochul, State Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins, Assembly Speaker Carl Hastie, and months of organizing from New Yorkers, we tax the rich. That tax alone will raise $500 million per year. And that's not all. Thanks to Governor Hochul and our partners in Albany, we finally got a better deal for New York City. We're getting billions more from the state to help tackle the gap. At the same time, we've been poring over the city budget to identify savings. We reduced unnecessary overtime and found smarter ways for government to deliver services. This all added up to $1.77 billion in total savings. Our budget isn't just about closing deficits. It's about building a city New Yorkers can actually afford. On day 8 of our administration, we announced a historic partnership with Governor Hochul to finally deliver universal childcare. That's $1.2 billion in new funding from Albany. And this was just the beginning. Investments in citywide trash containerization, cheaper groceries, safer streets, relief for taxi drivers are all on the way. And we're increasing funding for libraries, parks, and cultural institutions. I promise to make sure you were part of this budget process every step of the way. This is your city. These are your tax dollars, and this budget should reflect your priorities. We're proud to put forward a budget for the working people of this city. And we're going to do it again next year, and next year, and next year, and next year.
And next year, and next year, and next year.
So this is the thing. So I woke up 3 in the morning one day last week because I was pissed off. Somebody had messaged me, oh, look, he balanced the budget. Everybody's talking crap about Zohran. Look, he balanced the budget so well. And it wasn't just one person. It was several people. And I'm getting messages, and I'm like, all right, let me look into this budget. Let me see what he actually did. So I'm looking at it. I went through the whole thing. And he's a total scam artist. That's what he is. Scam artist, magician. It's all hocus pocus. Basically, he didn't balance anything. Okay, what he did was he just put placeholders on the budget, right? Assumptions of what's gonna be, and he got a huge bailout, right? So he's saying he erased $12 billion. This is the facts, right? Here we go. And I'm reading right off of my Substack. The big bailout, $8 billion from Albany. So what that means is New York State residents, all New York State residents are on the hook for it. They took our money, $8 billion, that's a lot of money, okay? So here we go. The next thing he did was pension payment delays. So he's basically kicking the can down to future taxpayers. What he's doing is he's delaying, not to the ones now, but he's gonna delay for the future, right? Like, let's say 2030s and 2040s, people who are gonna collect then, he's delaying payments. So what that's gonna do is it's gonna force people at that time to pay a lot more into it to be able to catch up for those delayed payments. So people are gonna suffer down the line, okay? The next thing he did was delayed his school class size reductions. He promised, oh, we're gonna reduce school sizes, right? We're gonna get it down to like 20 students, which sounds great, right? But he's not gonna do it now. He's just gonna delay that because that would have cost money, all right? And they're estimating Mamdani's budget banks on delaying this mandate for 1 to 2 years would save $500 to $1 billion just by doing that. Okay, so it's not really like he saved us. He just, you know, it's a future promise that wasn't, right? Then the comptroller, who was a Democrat, right, Mark Levine, he's talking about the tax the rich scam. where he claimed that he taxed 500 million per year for rich people. It's more like between 340 to 380 million, because that wasn't taken into account how many rich people are going to move out of the city, how many people are going to find loopholes around that payment. Okay, so that 500 goes down to like 340 million. The next thing, $1.7 billion in savings, mostly efficiencies and one-shot deals, whatever. So what that's going to be is basically they're going to cut jobs. These vacancies, these openings for NYPD, DOE, those vacancies are now eliminated. He's not going to fill those seats. And what that means is we're not going to have enough in the workforce. So again, punishing New Yorkers. So you're not getting budget, like you're not cutting the budget, you're not balancing the budget. What you're doing is you're making New Yorkers suffer monetarily, and then you're making them suffer, again, yeah, monetarily, because you're not filling those jobs.
You said before you continue, you said cutting down on one-shot deals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one-shot deals was basically the class sizes. That was one thing, right?
Oh, I thought you meant like the one-shot deals that the city does for people who are falling behind on rent and about to get evicted. Like that's considered a one-shot deal where the city pays back rent so that you don't get evicted. But I'm not sure if that's what
it could be tied into that too. I didn't look further into that part.
Yeah, that's what a one-shot deal is in New York City on the budget, I believe. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Renegotiating contracts, cutting overtime, consolidating leases, giving up unused office space, stuff like that. So it's a little bull. It's all bull. And then the last thing, the budget leans on one-time measures and short-term fixes. It delays real fixes. Yeah. So basically that's it in a can. Basically, Mamdani is a total scam artist. He didn't balance anything. And that's what they do. These are frauds, complete frauds. And you idiots clapping and jumping up and down for your little commie mayor, okay? It's not true. He did not balance the budget.
Yeah, it's Hochul's re-election year, so that's what a lot of this is he worked together with Hochul and they're saving the day, and it's a well-done video, and if you didn't know that he's a communist moron, like we know, you would think, oh, well, he looks like he's doing a good job as mayor, but as Kozi pointed out, it's all BS. State taxpayers, not just rich state taxpayers, are paying for it in the tax dollars on the statewide budget. Eight of that 12 billion, I believe it was, is just that, and then taxing the rich, and it's BS. And then, like Kozi pointed out, he's delaying a promise of something that he said he was going to do, which he's now not doing, and could be delayed indefinitely. So it's Kozi pointed it out perfectly. He broke it down, every little aspect of it. The one-shot deal thing will probably lead to more homeless people in New York City, which Democrats love homeless people so much they make more of them every day. And the saying is Democrats love poor people so much they make more of them every day, but homeless too, if you want to take it to that extreme level. And it's just smoke and mirrors, and like the meme that Kozi put up, it's like a magician, like poof, I'm just gonna make it disappear, and it makes Hochul look like a hero that she's coming in here and doing something, but all she's doing is what Democrats love to do. They love spending other people's money and wasting other people's money, and that's basically what they're doing here.
Yeah, I just want to say, can't you guys get it through your heads? How simple is it? Okay, they cannot help you. Okay, what they do is when they balance the budget, they're basically taking more money from you. That's what they're doing. Government is there like leeches. Government is a leech. And the only way they get funds is by extracting it from you. And they say they're going to tax the rich, and it never happens because the rich are smart enough to find the loopholes, to move away, to move their businesses out of state. And guess who gets left with the bill? You, the working class peon. Okay? And you guys got to wake up and stop voting for these communist, socialist, Democrat pieces of crap. They're destroying society with their immorality. They're destroying the economy. They're destroying everything in their way because they cannot produce. They are leeches.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that pension aspect that you mentioned, delaying the pensions. That's city workers. Those aren't rich people. Those are people who are working their butts off for the city, the NYPD teachers and all the city workers who are supposed to be getting pensions, who are expecting to retire at a certain age, and now they're going to end up having to wait longer to retire. And that's making it seem like he's balancing the budget by screwing over your average city worker who's expecting a pension at a certain age, and now they're going to have to wait longer. And it's kicking the can down the road to the next generation, which has been going on for a very long time, especially when it comes to union negotiations. It's like, we get what you guys can get what you want now, but 10 years from now, the people who start working 2 years from now, like when they retire, it's always like, not my problem, I don't care. You're giving me what I want. Screw the next generation. And that's what happens in a lot of union negotiating throughout history. And that's what's happening apparently now, where nobody cares if people got to retire a couple of years later. It's not me that has to retire a couple of years later, so screw the next generation. And that's the unfortunate mentality that, the majority of people have had for a very long time, unfortunately. So, but Mamdani didn't do anything smart. He took other people's money and spent it, and that's it. And in some cases, it's not even balanced because it's hypothetical that the money is going to get there, like Kozi said. So, Cafecito, your thoughts?
Well, first of all, great summary, Kozi. And for those who are tuning in, thank you. We are dedicated to New York, no matter how crappy it may feel sometimes. And we may not always get the stories right, but we have been, we predicted many unfortunate trends that have manifested and have only made life and living in this human skin a lot harder. But we have a lot to cover today, and which includes the LIRR strike. I don't know if any of you have any comments that you'd like to add regarding that. I have a video of Tramel Thompson, who you guys know, friend of Cafecito Break, an activist that everyone knows in New York City because of all the tremendous whistleblowing that he's constantly doing on spotlighting the MTA and everything that's happening with the subways. Well, he has been supporting the LIRR strike. Before I play that video, do any of you have any comments about it? If you want to see the video first and then chime in.
I'll just play the video first and then we'll get into it.
All right. This is our brother Tramel.
Wait a second. So now unions got too much leverage? Kathy Hochul just blamed Trump for releasing labor unions from mediation, basically saying workers got too much negotiating power. Watch this clip.
Unfortunately, they're the direct results of this strike. Let me be clear. This strike would not have been possible if the Trump administration had not taken the highly unusual step last fall of releasing labor unions from mediation.
Read between the lines, people. For years, we've been told that Democrats are the party of labor, but the second workers actually gain leverage. Now it's a problem. Now suddenly everybody's uncomfortable. So let me ask the question nobody wants to answer. Who's really standing with workers? And before the political tribalists start crying, I'm not saying Trump is pro-worker. I'm saying it's real interesting watching Democratic leadership complain the moment unions stop begging and start bargaining. Because politicians love unions until unions stop acting obedient. That's when the sending mad slips. Workers don't want slogans. Workers want leverage. Workers want fair contract. And if giving unions more negotiating power scares politicians, that tells you everything you need to know. But y'all did say the Democrats was the party of labor. Well, at least in New York, y'all said that. Hochul just proved y'all wrong. Once again.
Yep. Sorry. That was
Well,
a short clip.
yeah, I mean, I talked about it briefly, coincidentally, about the way union negotiations work. A lot of times you're screwing future generations. And what mediation basically would have done is a lot of unions in New York aren't allowed to strike. They have to, because they're necessary for society.
Essential.
They're essential. So basically they have to go to mediation where a judge will determine, or similar to arbitration, where somebody else is going to determine what's fair and make the agreement like a forced agreement. Like if you want 10,000 and I want to pay you 5,000, mediation is going to go and determine whether it's 6,000 or 9,000, or I'm just using a random example just to paint the picture there with that. And so now with the strike, it's like, no, screw that. We want what we want. And I mean, Trammell pointed it out exactly. Like it's all of a sudden, like the Democrats are not pro-worker now and they want to blame Trump for giving workers more power against the establishment. So, I mean, Trump does have most of his base is blue collar. It's not, it tends to be most of the rich people donate to Democrats. Most of these corporations and these elite are donating to Democrats. And then they claim that it's the Republicans, the rich, the Republicans are the ones who benefit the rich more than the poor. It's all backwards. They feed you all this BS, and it's a good thing that Trump put that in place. Obviously, nobody wants the Long Island Railroad to go on strike. There's enough traffic as it is with cars going back and forth to Long Island. That's obviously going to increase. It's going to impact the city. So we don't want to strike, but at the same time, they gotta. It's a way to speed things up. And I'm going to go back to trucking in the 70s. A lot of trucking companies now are not union. A lot of the trucking companies that were union are gone, or they changed to non-union companies, like the similar company name, and just went private. And the union workers are eventually phased out because unions do have a lot of power. And in the 70s, when the gas prices rose, they wanted to put the cost onto the truckers. Like, oh, the truckers make money, they could afford the increase in gas. And the truckers were like, nope, we're not doing this crap. We're just not going to move. And that lasted 2 days before they gave in and realized that the shippers have to do what's called a fuel surcharge. So if you're getting $2 a mile, now you're getting $2.20 or whatever the case may be. There's a fuel surcharge to cover the cost of the fuel increase on these rates, and that was accomplished because back in the late 70s they were union, they were organized, and even though most truckers are owner operators, they basically they have some
what
power.
happened? You said you were breaking up after the late 70s. Anybody listening?
I heard him clearly.
Oh, okay. So maybe that was just Cafecito's connection, and it aired for the audience. So, but just to repeat it for you briefly, they, in the 70s we had power, we were united, and we still do as truckers. I always consider that once the pandemic started, I told every social media that person that would listen, I went on their lives and I said the truckers got to step up because we have the power. And eventually truckers did do that. We saw that in Canada. We saw it the trucker rallies in America following that, because if truckers don't move, nothing happens. And we have a lot of power for United, and that goes on a smaller level with every union in existence. If they stop working, then it's going to impact, and you're going to get what you want. You're going to get what you want accomplished. So
I wanted to share a what this means, right? And this is day 3 of the strike, May 18th. The Long Island Railroad is North America's busiest commuter rail. Is shut down after midnight Friday when 5 unions representing 3,500 workers walked out. The first strike in 30 years. What does no service means? It is about 250,000 to 300,000 daily riders heading into New York City. So yeah, and what timing of it? And so then what are the options? And some people have been busing in and some people have been trying to drive in. But then remember congestion pricing? Yeah, so there is a whole lot of sourness that has been activated. Like as you said, Mark, this is not an ideal time, but at the same time, I'm grateful to see working class people um, getting together and using their collective powers in smart ways, not destructive ones, and also, bargaining for their pay. We saw the nurses strike earlier. A lot of nurses are not making the pay that they deserve. And so this is sucks for LIRR riders because our commuting situation has just been great lately. But I think it's necessary, and I hope that they get their raises and that something manifests as an agreement very soon.
I just want to point out they had time to make a deal. Like all you had to do was make the deal before the strike. It's not like people were like, you know what, we're just not going to show up to work today and we want $1 million. Like, I mean, it's not like, I mean, I don't know the specifics of how far apart they are in negotiations, but these negotiations shouldn't come down to a strike deadline. Like, it should be done before. Like, you have time, and they want to go, and obviously the workers aren't going to get paid the longer the strike lasts, which I'm sure every day it costs New York a lot more than it's going to cost the worker, and they could go on strike for at least a few weeks, and it'll be devastating to New York. So they gotta the politicians they have to come up with a deal and make these workers go back to work, which is what everybody wants.
Well, in this realm, as I contemplate the statue of Scott Lobato, he does echo a sentiment that many New Yorkers feel. We feel completely unseen, left behind, and effed up the buns. Excuse me, that's as PG-13 as I want to keep it. I didn't say the magic word. We're trying to keep it at least PG-13 here. But but we still have the whole fun thing and the debate. How long has this debate been going on in New York City? The crime is down debate. How many years do you think? Has it always been a thing?
A while. But before we move on to the next topic, I just wanted to say really quick. We lost Cafecito. The Democrats are always like, let's raise the minimum wage from $15 to $15 an hour. Now let's make it 25. We got to pay the workers. Then union negotiations, they want an extra $1 an hour or something, and it's like, no, screw you guys. Like, I mean, what is this? Like, do you want to take care of the average worker? This is not taxing the rich. This is not a billionaire, multi-billion-dollar corporation wanting billions of taxpayer dollars. This is the average worker who wants a little bit more money, and now that's a problem. But you want to raise an extra $10 an hour for people who flip burgers? Like, I mean, let's be realistic here. They pretend that they care about the worker, but they're as full of crap as you could imagine. And when it comes to the crime issue, they always say Republicans are fear-mongering. The crime is not going to be that bad. We saw this in 2013 with de Blasio's first term, his re-election term, before Mayor Adams came in when he was running against Curtis Lewa. They're like, oh, the Republicans are fear-mongering. The crime isn't going to be bad. And the same thing every year. They say the Republicans are fear-mongering, but every single year, the crime gets worse and worse. They finagle the stats to try to make it seem like things are better, like de Blasio releases prisoners from Rikers and then says crime is down because incarceration levels are lower. Like, you release the prisoners, that doesn't mean that's not a statistic that says that crime is down. It just means you release more criminals onto the street. It's like they're pissing on you and they're telling you it's raining and you're believing it.
Arrest them because they don't want the crime statistics to go up. It's so crazy.
Do you know? You know what this reminds me of? One time I was listening to a debate where the debate, the heart of the debate was, what do you believe, the statistics or what people are seeing and experiencing with their eyes? And it went so crazy because you did have a big subset of people who were like, no, you need to look at the statistics and statistical evidence and analysis over time and blah, 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 blah. But then you have and I get it. But then I'm thinking, with all of the ways that people finagle and present information, I know this not just from talking about it, but my job specifically at MTV was writing multi-million-dollar show productions. And guess what? Nobody liked at the end when we had to square the budget and do the post analysis and what was spent and where it was spent. And you know, the accounting for it is never fun. But if any of us did what the city does and the politicians do and the way they fudge their monies, we would probably all be behind bars.
Absolutely.
And that is why when I've made it a habit lately, when I interview local electeds or people running for positions, I bring up the budget 101 conversation. You know, if you're going to be managing people's money, you should understand how hard it is for working class people to make that money. You know, most of us don't have a government, a bank mommy and daddy to just be like, I want this, can I have it now? And it's like, arrives. I haven't mastered that ability yet to just manifest it like this. So yeah, what pisses me off too about these socialists is that they crave just equity conversations and, you know, let's treat people with dignity. But the first thing they do is treat themselves with lots of dignity in terms of the monies.
I hear that, Mr. Softy, man.
Yeah, I know. There's the ice cream. So then now we have the LIRR. People is bringing up congestion pricing again. I heard the other day that you know, Donald Trump might be trying to see if we could contest congestion pricing, and then I'm hearing Governor Hochul saying it's illegal to be able to do anything with it. But in the meantime, New Yorkers, you know, we need to ride the subway, and they're telling us crime is down. But I'm going to just show you some videos. This is Tremel Thompson once again.
A fight breaks out on a New York City subway train, and people just walk by like they late for work.
He gonna kill him. He gonna kill him. I think he can't fight.
There's the closing door, please.
This ain't normal. That's psychological conditioning. When people see chaos every day, the brain starts treating danger like background noise. That's called desensitization. Too much violence, too much disorder, too much mind your business. And eventually people stop reacting. Not because they're evil, but because they've been trained to survive the environment. People on these trains are thinking, I'm not going to get stabbed over somebody else's argument. I'm not missing work dealing with NYPD reports. I'm also not becoming the next viral video. So what they do, they walk right past the chaos. No 911 call, no intervention. intervention, no reaction. Because disorder becomes normal, and that should scare every single New York. A healthy transit system doesn't normalize violence. A healthy transit system doesn't make people emotionally numb. Because when riders see fights, people smoking, assaults, mental breakdown, and threats every day, the human brain adapts. That adaptation is survival. But survival mode comes with a cost. Empathy drops, urgency disappears, and eventually people stop believing the system is under control. This is exactly where we are right now. Imagine how bad things gotta get for this just to become another train ride. New Yorkers aren't ignoring the chaos because they don't see it. They're ignoring it because they seeing it too much. For more videos like this, where I give deeper explanations, click the link on the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Tremel Thompson of Progressive Action. He's got lots of videos. I have been collecting videos to show on separate shows that I intend to do, and just to highlight, because there is a cognitive dissonance around this subject, and depending on the pockets of where you may live in New York, this may not touch you at all. You may not see it. You may just think that you are in just the most peaceful, amazing little town, but you may not know that, like in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, a lot of the newcomers do not understand that just because the neighborhood just looks so more pretty and aesthetic, with certain exceptions, because now there's more trash that has come in literally like on the floor, it's dangerous. It's dangerous, and more like more crime. There's pickpocketing, and there's also people targeting and casing out joints. Like we're seeing it all the time. And I would say follow viral news if you want to stay updated of those type of crimes in NYC, for example, and Progressive Action with Tremel Thompson.
Yeah, in Williamsburg, I remember they were targets since like the late in the de Blasio administration, that gang members and stuff, they would go and target these coffee shops and steal people's MacBooks and stuff like that. So it's they're the easy targets because they're soft, like Mr. Softy, which we could hear outside in Cafecito's background, which gives a little New York vibe. Can you go outside and get me a double swirl cone, please, Cafecito? But
oh my God, I would love that.
You hear the ice cream truck and you think about New York and like block parties and all that other stuff, but the unfortunate reality is it's not as safe as it used to be, and the Democrats keep making it worse. That doesn't mean that, like, there's a lot of people who live in New York and say, oh, it's not that bad. Really? Like, it's not that bad because you didn't die doesn't mean that it's not that bad. It's not, there's millions of people in New York. So when you see a number like 1,000 people or a few hundred people, you're not going to, that died or crime or whatever the statistic may be. You think of it as not a big deal, or because you walk down in the street in the middle of the day and you don't see any of the carnage, you don't see fights breaking out, and your short stroll from a few blocks away to the subway or to a cab, I should say, because a lot of these people don't even take the subway and experience that. There's a lot of people on the internet who claim that New York is not that bad because they don't see it in their comfortable life from, in working from home and going around the corner, and that's it. Like, they're not actually riding the subways. They're not actually out in certain neighborhoods in the middle of the night. So it's, the reality of the situation is crime is getting worse and people do not feel safe. And that's a problem, and it's not going to be fixed.
The mental illness has definitely increased substantially because I lived here all my life, right? Been riding the subway since a kid. I can tell you that I've noticed more and more mental illness everywhere. Every day I'm on the train, like when I take the train, the other day, some guy right next to me, barefoot, smelling like death, right? Cheese, death, whatever. People talking to themselves, screaming at the top of their lungs. I have a neighbor who just screams at the top of his lungs every day. 2 a.m, is waking me up to the point where I tuned it out. 2 in the morning, just screaming at the top of his lungs. Some other lady, another lady every day walks around screaming, yelling, cursing. Lots of mental illness, lots of it. Okay, and I haven't seen this. I haven't seen so many. So people can't tell me that there's not the mental illness, and then that can cause crimes. They're not all violent, but guess what? When you have mental illness, you don't know what to expect. All these pushings. Have you guys ever experienced? You guys are New Yorkers. How often would you hear of somebody pushing somebody onto the tracks? We never heard of this stuff. Okay, this only happened the last 5 years or so, right? Where it started happening. I don't know.
Yeah, these really bad behaviors. I mean, I remember back in 2020 when they started suggesting mask mandates, one of the first little predictions I made, and of course, the social justice warriors came after me and they were arguing with me. You're exaggerating. It's not that serious. Crime is not going to happen. But what was I saying? I think this is going to lead to a lot of crime. Was I wrong? No, now we have our toiletries in jail when we go to places like Walgreens and Dwayne Reed. And let me tell you something. This is just me saying it. My brothers are not a part of this. I'm gonna say a little message to Walgreens. I was deeply disappointed the other day when I went shopping and I was paying for my little items, and the cashier had a little camera on her little shirt, and I looked down and I saw my little reflection. And as I'm looking down, I'm like, are you recording this interaction? Like, I'm just sort of like here with you approaching the table and I'm about to pay you. This is being recorded. She's like, no, it's not being recorded. I'm like, I see myself in your little camera. That's just in case for emergency purposes.
So I'm being recorded.
Exactly. My point. And look, I get it. I don't know what Mark read. I get it. There has been, and I've seen it for myself, I've observed people walking in there, sketchy looking characters, and maybe walking out with what maybe they pickpocketed some stuff. Not my business, but I imagine that has been happening. But why should the average New Yorker who is just trying to go from point A to point B and work and survive, pay bills, live life, why should we be punished for this?
That proves it right there. That proves it right there. The fact that they have to lock up toothbrushes, okay, freaking toothbrushes and toilet paper and whatever they're freaking tying up, okay, soaps, literally soaps, okay,
yeah,
shows
soaps.
you that the crime is out of control. Right next door to me was a Walgreens, and they went out of business. You know why? The manager told me why they were closing. They said because of the amount of theft that it's not profitable for us to stay in business. And he said because we can't call the cops. When we call the cops, they don't do anything. They say we can't do anything, and they just let them go because it's
the
not
algorithm
worth it.
doesn't like that we're sharing this subject.
Yeah, I mean, this happened since COVID, and it's across the country. California, most of the major cities, Las Vegas, because I'm all over the country, and it's not just a New York and California thing. The Walgreens and all that stuff, it's all over. You want razor blades or items that are like $10 or more, or like that, or small items or something. They lock them up, and it's because you saw all those videos with people walking into one of these pharmacies, CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, whatever.
It's racist to lock people up. You're a racist if you want to put somebody in jail.
But they came in and they with a garbage bag, and they're just tossing stuff in there, and then they walk out. So, because I always make the joke, even in Walmart, I'm like, I need to get something from here, and then they hand it to me, and then it's like, okay, now I'm going to walk out and steal it. Like, what's the difference? Like, but the difference is somebody can't walk in with a garbage bag and toss everything in and leave. So that's why they do it. And and they're desensitizing people on taking your freedoms little by little. Now it's video recording. Oh, you don't have to worry. Unless you're doing something wrong, you don't have to worry about it. It's like,
but you're still recording me without my consent,
I know,
and I don't like that.
You should
that's
sue
my
them. See
point.
if you
Like
could sue
there,
them. Imagine you would become a millionaire overnight. Let's do it. They'll probably settle with you. Go sue them.
I'm
Go
gonna
sue
go
them right
sue
now.
no,
them.
there's
Just kidding.
we already know if you're in a public place, you can be recorded. You have no rights with that anymore. And it
But
goes
what about a
like
private?
I have the
What about a private place like that? It doesn't. You're probably right. Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
probably
that's
right.
inside. I'm shopping. Like I'm gonna be all my interactions are gonna be recorded. So now when I
yeah. I
think
mean,
I'm gonna have
there's
like no,
cameras
just
all over the
no.
store. Not there's a body cam added to it, so it's like.
Right.
And
I
I
understand the
agree with
cameras.
you, but I'm just saying
Look,
that we have no legal recourse in that
Yeah, you're
sense. Is
probably
all I'm
okay,
right.
I
saying.
get you, but I'm thinking about okay. I understand because I used to work. I was a manager at one point for a department in a department store, right? Ladies shirts, ladies coats and suits and swimwear. So I understand the camera, the surveillance, everything, but it's a little much. And now I'm almost hearing like the finest would probably be chiming in right now saying, yeah, you probably now you guys know how the NYPD or police officers feel when we were mandated to wear those things, those cameras on our chest recording at all times. So to your point, this is now starting to seep into everyday society. I understand when I'm walking into a store, there's cameras everywhere, but now I'm at the the cashier. You know what's gonna start happening? The small little chit chat that people do. Oh, how you do? Having a good day? Yeah, I had a little coffee. Oh, would you like to recommend this product? I really like. All that shit is gonna stop because now
Yeah,
people are going to be more mindful of what they say because of course this goes back to one of the points that were highlighted earlier. In a society that's highly surveilled, people are going to start curtailing how they respond and behave in public settings, down to the point a few years ago we were talking about in public when you are by a protest, don't do this because it's like don't raise your hands in this gesturing form. It's gonna look like into the cameras like you might be agitated, and let's look out for that one. Let's then also think about the biometrics and all the ways they want to scan you. So my point is, when I'm traveling through the airport, when I'm going food shopping, I'm starting to feel like a freaking criminal. That takes the joy out of little things like that for a person, especially people who don't like a camera up in your face. It's like we really are ushering in Truman Show in our
yeah.
society in day to day.
Yeah, and they
Oh,
introduce it little by little. First, it's the police officers, and like their logic behind it is probably that if you were a criminal and you walk up to the register and you see your face on there, like the way you did, you might think twice before doing something because yes, there's cameras in the store, but unless you visualize it and see yourself being recorded, you might not realize it. But that's for it's a massive inconvenience for the majority of people who are not criminals, like the whole locking in everything in the stores. It's
listen,
it's
they've gotten to
I
the
cannot
point.
almost I'm having a hard time containing my heat, Mark, because I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, do you
before
think
you
the
do
criminal
that, I
do
want to
you
say
think the criminal is gonna
before you
go
say
to the
that,
counter?
I am not disagreeing with you.
No,
Okay,
I
I
know
want to
that, but I'm just
clarify
saying.
that.
But like, but
Okay,
I'm just wondering, and not my angst is now towards you. I'm just thinking in my mind. I'm like the justification of corporate, for example, of how this came through. Do you think the criminals right now who are just grabbing and putting things? I'm just gonna go to the counter. I'm gonna pay for this item, but all of these other things in my bag, I'm taking. That's not going to be happening.
Listen, they've
well,
gotten to
it's
the point.
if it's about like being robbing the cash register and things of that nature. They're trying to make it seem like it's for the employee safety, and if something were to happen, or interaction.
There's no
But they
human
want
right.
to trying to get back to my original point that I've been trying to say for a while. I have the AI cameras in this truck, and I would normally not work for a trucking company that has it, but I already started with them, found out about it afterwards, and I don't like to leave a company right away, so I dealt with it for a while, and I'm probably leaving very shortly with this company, and that's one of the main reasons. is the AI driver facing camera. And they want you to normalize that. They want to put that in every single vehicle next year. So I'm going to repeat what I said last week or the week before or whenever it was. Buying is complying. If you continue to go, if you're going to go and you're going to buy a 2027 vehicle that has the camera in it because you want a new car instead of just getting a newer used one than the one you have, then you are part of the problem. You have to not buy from, you have to not buy the vehicles, leave them on the lot, and that will change the problem. It's a very simple solution if people just realize that you might not be able to control who wins an election if they're stealing elections, or you might not be able to control even if the person you want elected gets threatened and they bow down to the puppet masters or whatever the case may be. But one thing you can control is where you spend your money. And if you stop spending money in places that do certain things, like we saw with Target and Bud Light and the other boycotts, things will change. I mean, the Walgreens situation, the reality is a lot of the places are going out of business. Rite Aids, Walgreens, all across New York. Some of them used to be 24 hours, and that was very convenient for the neighborhood. If they wanted something in the city that never sleeps at 2 a.m, they could walk a couple of blocks and go to their neighborhood pharmacy and get stuff. Now they can't do that because they can't be open late at night because that's when most of the thefts happen. And now they get inconvenienced because of, things being locked up. Instead of criminals being locked up, deodorant is locked up. And it's ridiculous, and that's the unfortunate. They want you to normalize losing your freedoms little by little and make it seem like it's not a big deal.
Absolutely.
Mark, but you know what sent me over this? Because it's one thing that the toiletries get locked up. It's another thing that the makeups, the Dwayne Reed makeups will get locked up.
Lock up the
But
deodorant.
the little freaking bullshit, I'm the one committing the crimes today, get locked up.
But that'll be more likely to be stolen than something else, because that you could sell on eBay more than like a deodorant or something like that. And
you guys out that are not in New York, do you understand they lock up toothbrushes like they're gold? Toothbrushes, deodorant.
We got to do little videos to show them, I mean, they're recording us. We will record them. And if somebody has a problem with me in those settings, I'm going to be like, you guys are recording me and you're not asking me. So I'm returning the freaking favor.
Let's backtrack a little bit. Walgreens is not the problem. Like, when it comes to boycotting and all that stuff, it's the politicians that are not prosecuting criminals that's the problem. If they don't lock up that stuff, they're going to go out of business. They're trying to do whatever possible to stay in business. And if they don't go out of business, the community gets hurt. You think about corporations, Walgreens, CVS, they're not the bad guys here. They're trying to survive the Democrats in power that aren't prosecuting criminals.
You're a racist, okay? You want to lock up criminals, you're a racist.
Well, okay, but do you remember that a lot of these stores were also very there was from 2020 on, I saw lots of reports where security guards were getting in trouble for going after the criminals. And a culture was very quickly created, and people knew very quickly that security guards were gonna leave folks alone.
So what's the point of the security guard?
Here's my hold on. I have a question. So who's to blame here? The politicians or the store policy?
Politicians, absolutely.
No, but at that moment, if it's my store and I'm saying to the guard, the security guard is getting in trouble, where's the onus at? Is the store saying corporate? I don't know the answer to this, guys. So
it's still the politicians, because I had a security guard license when I was 18 years old in New York, and in the security guard license exams, and the training, you're basically told you can't touch anybody, you can't do anything.
So what's
Like
the point,
you're
right?
you're there for an image, basically. Like if you're an armed security guard for Brinks or one of these armored trucks, and they're even then, most of the time they tell you, if you're not to even get into a gunfight or anything, just let them take the money. Like
So
it's
what's
like
your
you're
purpose? See, it's just,
yeah,
hi, I'm here
it's
just to make believe, like a scarecrow. It's.
yeah, I mean, you're supposed to give the sense of security to other people, and you're
Yeah.
supposed to like call the cops. The cops are supposed to be allowed to do something, but it's little by little they're taking away the cops' ability to do things. Like like Cafecito said, if they call the cops to come to the store, they're not coming to the store. And I
But
remember
hold
the
on.
Rite Aid in the Lower East Side used to be 24 hours. They had to park a cop car outside of the store in order for it to try to reduce the crime of people just looting these stores. Like there was literally police cars with an officer manned per
Not here.
24/7
Crackling
outside,
hot.
because security guards can't do anything to try to deter it. And that Rite Aid still went out of business because people were still looting.
They're not. Some places are not calling them security anymore. They say, I went into a store and it said watch team. Like there was
Wow.
two people said watch team. It's the watch team because security guard. Maybe it's like, who knows? Maybe that's racist too.
Who knows? We do
No,
have a
because
couple of
there's no
videos
security.
to
All
get
they could
through.
do is watch. They can't do anything. So
Watch
that's why
team.
it's the watch team. That's it.
Hire me.
Unfortunately.
I'll watch. I'll just sit on my ass all
I
day.
might as well be. I wouldn't mind being part of a watch team
The
behind like a
watch
lot of
team.
like bulletproof glass. I could just
This shit is
observe and
sick, bro.
point.
This world is sick in the head. Listen, people need to snap out of
I
it.
mean, it's
Take
conditioning people
control.
to be hands off, and like Tramel said in
Useless.
that video, like, oh well, I'm not gonna. Why would somebody get involved in saving somebody else's life if they might end up getting killed or
Or
have
arrested.
or arrested and then be judged for defending themselves or someone else? So I get it. We have a couple of more videos to get through as we wind out
Some
the
positive
show.
videos. Yes.
Well,
Show them
yeah,
what
not so
happened.
fast because we have vaccine mandates. One particular one, a summer camp bill. So two little videos, and then we're gonna start winding down with New York. You do have choices, and there are some elections coming up. All right, so let's play this video. We went to the Bronx the other day. We visited where Senator Rivera has an office who is sponsoring one of these bills. And this is just a quick little recap of that day.
Gustavo.
Everybody, we're in front of Gustavo Rivera's office. He is the senator who passed the bill and pushed forward a bill to ban unvaccinated kids from summer camps. He might require Hep B shots for adults to go to college. He might require an adult vaccine database that ICE could use to arrest undocumented immigrants. Gustavo Rivera, no vaccine mandates! My body, my choice. My body, my
No
choice.
vaccine mandates. So let me share that. We also had the opportunity of interviewing a young Latina mother out in the Bronx, and she did not want to be identified. She did the interview wearing a mask, and this video is English. It's in Spanish, but I'll do a little. It has
Translation.
translation. Yeah, I was gonna say captions, but that really wouldn't work, right? Okay, here we go. Okay. The, all right, hold on a second. So I'll pause it and in between. All right, this is the young mother who is there in the front of the truck, Children's Health Defense. Great job. She's got this sign, Gustavo Rivera, my body, my choice. There's nothing more powerful than mamas and papas just delivering the message. So
Tengan cuidado porque lo que decidan hoy afecta mañana y es un slippery slope lo que puedan hacer con nuestros cuerpos.
so the first thing she says is a warning to everyone: be careful because it's a slippery slope. What they decide today could end up being worse tomorrow. And like we've seen many times, you open the door a little bit and you know, it gets worse. So, atención. La Asamblea de Nueva York. So I'm just going to skip through this just to get more of her take.
Gustavo Rivera quiere que nosotros nos registremos y es muy fácil para ICE encontrar nuestra gente, nuestros muchachos. Esto es peligroso.
El senador Rivera puede someter este proyecto de ley a votación. Ya aprobó una ley que prohíbe a los niños en todos los campamentos de verano que no están vacunados.
Este es mi niño. Yo rogué a papá Dios por mis niños y esta es mi decisión.
She's saying right there, this is my kid. I pray to God for my children, and this is my decision. How powerful is that?
Si la vacuna trabajan para ustedes.
If the vaccine works, it works for you. Do not worry about what I decide. This is my religion. This is my boy, and I vote and I contribute to this country. And I deserve to make the decisions for the future of the health of my boys. Isn't that amazing?
Amen. Amen.
Amazing. So I'm just gonna wrap up with a point over here that Michael says in English, and hello to our brother Dirk. No, los políticos.
Why are they doing that? There's hundreds of camps that have no vaccine requirements. A lot of Christian and Jewish camps out there that don't have vaccine requirements. Does Gustavo Rivera hate religious people?
Yes.
Does Gustavo Rivera hate religious people? I don't know. Why don't you tell us, Gustavo? Why don't you tell us?
Yes, Gustavo Rivera. The parents decide. So at the current moment, we are worried about the summer camp bill. So please make your voices heard and let Senator Rivera know that it's not cool to try to isolate children who are unvaccinated and having them not experience summer camp. That is not a politician's choice. It's the parents' choice, and it's up to the individual camps. Kozi, Mark?
Flood his freaking phone calls, knock on his door, let that bozo know. Because if you don't let him know, if you just sit back, guess what's going to happen? He's going to think it's okay. But if you give him a migraine, and this is what I keep telling people, give them migraines. Call every day. Even if you called yesterday, call again, tell your friend to call, tell your grandma to call, tell your kids to call, tell your dog to call. Just keep calling them until they hate your freaking guts, because the squeaky wheel gets the oil. It's simple. Simple. We're not asking you to go to the battlefield. We're not asking you to risk your life anywhere at war. We're telling you to pick up your phone and have a conversation with this bozo.
And even if you don't, you could just post something on social media, repost this video or repost some of Kozi's posts and tag your local politicians. Like, I sure hope you're not going to vote for this. Like, that's what you need.
I'm a fan of public shaming. I love to shame these dorks.
Yeah, because I said it on X when I replied to Cafecito's post with the video. Basically, these politicians love to be Big Pharma's puppet because they fund a lot of these campaigns, and even if they don't, the backroom deals and the lobbying and all that other stuff that goes on with Big Pharma and how powerful they are, it's like they basically say, hey, if you want to stay in office, you got to do what we say, and that's basically it. So it's
maybe they need to make some flyers of their faces, like Gustavo Rivera, maybe, and then have somebody in that neighborhood just put them out everywhere, all over the block.
Well, I mean, we've
everywhere. I'll make some really ugly cartoons, and I think it'll be impactful. Maybe we should work on that.
We had I forgot the guy's name, but A1179, the vaccine bill that we all protested years ago. The sponsor of that bill was in Canarsie, and he didn't even run for re-election because we were out in front of his office, and his name was being put out there everywhere. And eventually, that caused him to leave office, and that's what we do to certain politicians is exposing him, and you put that name out there, and they know that the people in the neighborhood hear that person's name in a bad way, that this is what they're doing, and when the election time rolls around, they're not voting for them. So
I just
that's
love us. I
yep.
gotta say, like, you're right. Like, the other day, I mean, I've listened to people who are like, MAHA doesn't do anything. They haven't been doing anything. Or the grassroots, it's dead. It died with RFK and Trump over there. And in my mind, I'm like, you guys are not clued in. We, no matter what is happening in Washington, we keep going and supporting our beloved New
Yeah.
York.
And I don't care what you call it. Listen, MAHA, I don't give a shit about that title. I don't personally use it. I don't give a shit about MAHA. That's just a freaking fruity little name, okay? What I care about is real activists, okay? I'm the activist, you're an activist. People who are real activists, stop calling it MAHA. It's fruity.
Medical
I don't care
freedom.
about that name. I don't care about the name, and I don't care whoever fucking gets pissed off about it. Whatever. But no matter what, that name has brought some recognition, because guess what? HHS secretary got put in there, right? We would have never been in there. The only reason that they got him in there is to appease you guys. It's to shut us up. And they said, okay, we'll give you this guy. Okay, and whether he's effective or not, doesn't matter. The point is, I mean, it matters, but what I'm saying is the point is he's there. And the reason he's there is because they knew, Trump knew, the administration knew, and the establishment knew that they had to appease us because we're that powerful. Okay, that's the message you're missing, and that's what you need to know. We are powerful. Now they try to capture us, they try to appease us and say, okay, we'll give you this, but they don't really give us that. But it's your fault. It's your fault out there because you don't voice your opinion stronger, you don't show up harder, and you got to keep pushing. Because we're the real change. It's not about Kennedy. It's not about any other politician, Trump, and whoever you want to put out there. These are all talking heads. They're all, these people they put up there. But you're the real change. You. And if nothing happens, it's because of you. It's because it's your fault. Get involved, organize, and shut it down.
Kozi, you raise a great point. I mean, that's what I love about, call it whatever you want to call it. I say the grassroots MAHA just to distinguish from the Washington, D.C. elite. But I mean, like, medical freedom, a lot of us have 10 plus years before we even met each other advocating and for just holistic freedom and choices, alternative health, and my point to you, and my point for saying the grassroots and highlighting MAHA, grassroots, whatever you guys want to call yourselves, the medical freedom community. My point is, I am so proud of all of you because you all know that no matter what's happening in Washington, our work doesn't stop. And you continue day after day making those phone calls, pay attention to those bills, going and showing up at schools and doing parent advocacy and handing out flyers. You guys are heroes to us. That was the point of why I brought it up.
Yeah, and I want to put this out there because I'm sure I offended some people with what I said. Listen, if you're involved, it's not a jab at you. If you're involved, if you've ever done anything for medical freedom, you're on the good side. I'm not calling you fruity little name, okay? That's not what I'm intending. What I'm just trying to say is, like, we can't get co-opted. We can't allow it to be co-opted, okay? The whole thing with glyphosate, the vaccine, like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, but then they don't really let them do that. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So if you're grassroots, if you're boots on the ground and you've done something, I love you. It's not a jab at you. I'm telling you I love you, I appreciate you, I support you, and I'm on your team. I'm just differentiating. What I'm talking about is don't get captured, put your boots on, and get to work. Keep fighting.
Yeah, it's. I'm pretty sure the message was clear. Like the name MAHA is something that you don't care about. Like slogans and names and all that stuff. It's catchy, but it's not really the important thing. But it's still. I mean, when you have a catchy slogan like that or name or something, it does catch people's attention. Even the "My Body, My Choice." I remember when we were out there in the rallies, it caught people's attention. It's like, is this an abortion rally? What's going on? Are they doing something with the abortion? Like, and then it's like oh no, they're the anti-vaxxers, and it's like,
Shout out to MAHA
but
Institute. I'm not throwing shade at you. Shout out to
yeah,
Tory Lines.
Well,
Shout out to everybody out there. I really appreciate what you guys have done. You definitely have helped change the game. So shout out to you guys out there. No jab at you guys. You guys doing great. I
yeah,
was just trying to make a
but
point.
no, but no, I think I understand what you were saying, Kozi, because with everybody that we've met that has been great in those settings, there have also been people that have infiltrated
Oh yeah.
and corrupted, and then folks who just wanted to get close to the gloss, and then people who just had bad intentions from the very beginning.
Oh, and I know who you all are. I know who you
And
all
so
are.
my point to everyone is, I know that a lot of you guys are sick of politics, but we are focusing here on New York City. And there is an election coming up. Well, there's several elections coming up. One in particular is the governor's race. And we have Governor Hochul running. Who's going to vote for Governor Hochul? I'm not raising my hand saying I'm going to vote for her. Who's voting? Tell me, because I'm hearing that New Yorkers are more fed up than ever, but I'm not holding my breath for when we get to voting day.
Kathy Hochul here, and I'm
Yeah,
here.
so as we wind down, I'm just going to play two videos. I'm going to play them back to back, and I'm doing this for a reason. These are not endorsements. None of us here are endorsing anyone. Maybe we'll do that in the future, but not at this point. We're not endorsing. We're presenting you an interview with Larry Sharp that I did the other day, who showed up to the Bronx to support us for medical freedom, and an interview that Michael Caine also did a day or two later with Bruce Blakeman, who is the Republican candidate running for governor, and Larry Sharp is the independent candidate running for governor. They both support medical freedom. So I just want to say that before anyone starts jumping down any of our throats. I don't want to go there. I just
Let 'em
part of
try.
this is presenting you information. You guys make your informed choices. So let's go with our interview with Larry Sharp.
Sadly, the Republicans and Democrats in this state decided that the establishment's all that matters. They only care about that. And I'll ask you, with these bills that are happening right now, where's the Democrat? Democrats are backing it. They're happy. Where's Republicans? They're asleep. Republicans aren't going to win. They know they can't win. The only answer is an independent candidate who cares about medical freedom. There's no one else. Born in Manhattan, and when I was a little kid, I was raised in the Bronx, so I'm back home again, which is nice. I'm happy back home. The reality of it is, parental rights matter. And we don't think of it as much. We think about saving the children, but here's the reality. If I have a choice of giving my child to the state or giving my child to kin, I'm always going to focus on giving my child to kin. So what does that mean? That means that even when it comes to decisions being made, if my child or there's a child has no kin, I understand the state should step in. I get that. But if a child has kin, they're always going to do better with kin. Let that kin, whether that's mom, dad, sister, brother, uncle, grandma, grandpa, let them decide what's right for that kid. That's going to be their best chance of success and happiness. And the reality of it is, most of us talk only about safety, but in our founding documents, they didn't talk about safety. In our founding documents, they talk about three things: life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Liberty is how you get to happiness. That's why we need medical freedom here in this country.
Amen.
Parents call the shots, not Senator Rivera.
What message would you have for the parents today?
If you want to have control over your own children, if you want your children to have the values that you want them to have, you have to step up and take charge of that. Because the government will take it. The government will do what it wants to do. The government will make your children what the government wants it to be if you don't step up. That's why I'm here. I brought my kid with me. People are here because they care about their children.
Larry Sharp, thank you. God bless you. Okay. Do you want anybody want to say anything, or we just go play the next video and then?
Yeah, you could play.
Yeah, we can go on to the next one, and we'll add the commentary after. And wrap.
All right. Okay, and this is Michael Caine, who interviewed him, Bruce Blakeman, Republican candidate for governor.
In Brooklyn with Republican New York governor candidate Bruce Blakeman. Bruce, We were just talking about medical freedom issues here. Tell me about fired unvaccinated workers in New York. As governor, what would you do for them?
I'll do the same thing I did in Nassau County. I invited our workers to come back. I would rehire them. It's fundamentally unfair to fire people who worked when there was no vaccine because they were essential workers. And now when there is a vaccine, if they choose not to get the vaccine, to fire them, that is totally unfair.
To our voting bloc, religious exemptions, medical exemptions to vaccination is a big, big issue. What's your position on that?
Well, as I've said before, first of all, we need religious freedom in our country. Our country was founded on religious freedom, so that's incredibly important to me. And also, I think that medical decisions, important decisions, need to be made between the physician and the patient. And I think that there has to be overwhelming scientific evidence if you're going to say that everybody has to do the same thing, and that evidence hasn't been produced. So therefore, I think the parents should be able to make the choice and decide what they want for their children.
Last question. The Democrats in Albany are pushing forward a bill to ban unvaccinated children from all summer camps. What do you think about that?
Sounds very un-American to me. Again, unless there was overwhelming scientific evidence that these children would infect other children and create a public health crisis, I don't think there's any problem with having the camps decide. Let the camp owners decide. That's their freedom. If the camp owners decide that they only want to take vaccinated kids, that's their choice. If they want to say that they'll take both, that's their choice. Government shouldn't be making those choices.
Bruce Blakeman, we have him tagged here. Make sure you follow him, support him for governor. Bruce, thank you so much.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
God bless.
All right. I'll start things off. Both candidates seem like good people, and they're on the same page when it comes to medical freedom. And I like pointing that they pointed out what Cafecito pointed out earlier, and what we've pointed out on numerous occasions is the common sense thing when it comes to vaccines. That if your vaccine works, and the lady in Cafecito's video said this in Spanish, then it should have nothing to do with me. Like, if I don't take it, you should be safe if your vaccine works. That should be the point of a vaccine, not unvaccinated will somehow get the vaccinated person sick. There's no logic behind that whatsoever. So I like that that was pointed out. But I want to talk about the importance of an election and how Sharp mentioned that Republican doesn't have the chance to win and the only answer is an independent. To me, that's bullshit. I'm going to be straight up with you. Independents have not even come close in any election year for God knows how long. That's just the unfortunate reality of the system, the situation. We have a two-party system, and unless there's some household name that, like, you know, that's an independent that everybody knows who will vote for, like if Trump ran as an independent instead of a Republican, and even then, when you have independents, you usually have them taking the majority of votes away from one party or the other. We had that with Ross Perot in 92, which is why Bill Clinton won, because he was more on the right than the left, and he took away votes from Bush, and that's how Bill Clinton got elected. So you're either, in this case, Sharp is going to most likely take more votes away from Republicans and help Hochul win. That's the unfortunate reality of the situation. So we want Democrats splitting the vote like we had the opportunity in the mayor's race, and I don't want to get started on that because New York really dropped the ball on that, and it still pisses me off. But we need to stay united behind Blakeman, the Republican candidate, if we want a chance to win. That's not an endorsement of him as a person, or that's just the reality of the situation. The best chance, the best realistic chance, because Lee Zeldin came a lot closer than people thought, and more people are fed up. New York City is more red. New York State is more red. We need to stand united behind the candidate that has the best chance to beat Hochul, and that's Blakeman, the Republican candidate.
I almost want to reserve comment here, but I'm going to point out something, but these are little nuances and something that Blakeman said, which I don't agree with, and he probably doesn't agree with. He's probably, it seems to me like he's just saying it just because, you know, people want to be safe about it, right? When he says, oh, unless it's proven, right? Unless the vaccine is proven to be effective. Who decides? Who decides whether it's proven or not? The CDC, the FDA, the criminals. Okay, I don't care who decides what. I don't care what anybody says if it's safe. I don't give a shit who says it's safe. Okay, if I don't want it, I don't want it. There shouldn't be. It should just be that simple. I shouldn't need a religious exemption. I shouldn't need a medical exemption. I should be like, no, thank you, or not even a no, thank you. How about no? That's it. Done. Okay, but the society has normalized this tyrannical behavior that we must get authorization before we deny something to enter our body. We need to change the way we talk and the way we speak. So I just want to point that out there. Politicians out there, if you're running on medical freedom, be for medical freedom and say it proudly. Don't sugarcoat, don't try to appease the tyrants, just say it closely. It's your choice. That's how simple it should be, okay? Now, if I had to choose between Kathy Hochul or Bruce Blakeman, obviously I'm picking Bruce Blakeman. And that's all I'm going to say right now.
Yeah, I before Cafecito chimes in, I didn't like that either, the way he said that. I think his point was, like, if it was, like, actual overwhelming evidence, like real evidence, not the fake bull BS, and it's actually saving lives and everything, then it's a different story. But it isn't. I agree with you. Like,
and even if you had evidence, even if you had 100% evidence, I don't give a shit. If I don't want to drink water, I don't want to drink water. If I don't want to eat noodles, I don't want to eat noodles. It's my fucking choice.
Yep. So we're
the
on.
reason I'm putting out there, because Bruce Blakeman, if you hear this, just say it straight up. Just say it straight up. Don't worry about the people who are going to judge you on the other side or the moderates. Just fucking say it. Say it's your choice. I want you to change your language.
Yep.
So my commentary. The people that I speak to, that I've spoken to, and I don't like to make things about race, black and brown communities, or in some of the more inner city. Nobody knows who this man is. So I do understand, in a sense, why some people are a little bit nervous. And this is why I wanted to highlight these two candidates today. Now, I'm not going to go further and say who I may have preferences for, because I'm just trying to stay out of this governor's race at this point in that way for now. It's so much heat, but I want it to be fair from the sake of this is an independent platform, and whatever my personal feelings are, we have rarely gone out and really truly endorsed. I've never gone so hard. I've done it for two candidates. That's Lee Zeldin and Curtis Lewa. I believe they had a chance, and I believe that Zeldin got close.
Larry Sharp, I like him. Great guy. I think what he stands for is very important, and I think what he says is real to me. It's like what he says is exactly how things should be. Okay, philosophically, he's on the right side. He's philosophically and the way he thinks about government, my mind thinks more aligned to that. But the reality is, does he really have a shot? I'm being open. I don't know. That seems like listen, we're in New York City, and I get his positioning, saying like, you know what, they'll never vote for a Republican, right? Like, so he's positioning himself as like, I have the better chance because I can actually get some Democrat voters, he's thinking, right? Or he's like that in between. Listen, I'm not going to comment on that because I respect Larry Sharp, and I want you guys to decide. And I don't know. Listen. Let you guys decide.
It's delusional and it's selfish. I'm sorry. I'll comment on it, and it's nothing. It's not a personal shot at him. And I'm gonna say in 2022.
I want you to say what you need to say, but I just want to put it out there. that if every politician thought how Larry Sharpe thought, we'd have a better running government. I just want to put that
Amen.
out
I
there.
agree with you, Kozi.
I agree with you on that too, because if he was the Republican candidate, then I would be supporting him as well. And unfortunately, that's the reality. Like, that's why you had so many people voting for Cuomo, because they thought that Curtis
It's
Lee
happening
would.
again. I don't know if it was it's Cafecito.
Yeah, it's you because I hear him.
We're just gonna
Yeah,
have to hold it.
yeah.
We're
It's
almost done wrapping up the show
we're
here.
good. We're good. We're good. They could hear us. They could hear us. You can't. So I don't know how to do that in sign language. But
No,
in
but you guys
2022,
faded away. Hold on, Smarty Pants. The two of you completely disappeared from. I'm hosting the show live, and the both of you
Well,
disappear
let me see what we look
fully,
like.
100% from my hosting window. So I don't even see you guys talking. I don't hear anything at all. It just looks like the whole stream got cut off.
okay. So
Oh, I see.
I don't.
I'm live right now, and I see you all.
Okay, so no, that's
Yeah,
great. So
but it's
continue, Mark.
different because she would probably have a better knowledge of whether other people are seeing us on YouTube or X or whatever, because
People
she's the
commenting.
one actually hosting. So whether we could hear each other or not might not be relevant. And Carla and Jay said, I see all of you, and everything's good on that end. So back to my original point. When I say selfish and delusional, I say that, I don't mean to disrespect him. I commend him for attempting it. But at the same time, in 2022, the Medical Freedom Party said that they would endorse me and they would bust their ass to get me on the ballot for U.S. Senate because the Republican Party screwed me. And I could have done the selfish thing and taken Republican votes away, but I knew there was no realistic chance of me winning. I could get Democratic votes. I know how to campaign, and I could, maybe get more than any other independent candidate in history, but that still wouldn't be enough to win. And I would just make it so that Chuck Schumer has a better chance to win. So to do the unselfish thing, I decided not to do that because that would be, number one, selfish and all about me. And look at me, I'm still a candidate. And it would legitimize my candidacy more because I would actually be on the ballot than to go and hurt the party. Now, I know Sharp he's probably not selfish in his mind. He probably thinks that he could win because he's out on the streets and all that stuff, but there's literally millions of people, and it's not a New York City election. New York State geographically is red. The majority of blue voters are in New York City, but the Long Island and all that other stuff, that carries weight to the point where Lee Zeldin was close, and we should be closer this time around. Even though a lot of red New Yorkers left, there's still a lot of people who are being red-pilled in New York and realizing that voting for someone besides Hochul is the better option. I hope he targets his campaign more on the Democrat side than trying to take Republican voters away. That's something that I contemplated too, running for New York as Marx Karl, like backwards for Karl Marx, and I could still keep the Mark for NY name, and I could go and say, New York is not doing enough to push the socialist agenda. We need real socialism and get that side to vote for me.
I should run as a communist.
Yeah.
And just lie to these fuckers.
We're gonna all put in our candidacy.
Let's just lie to them. I'll give
You know what's
money.
hilarious? I wanted just to put those videos out and not get into this, and we got into. I was trying to avoid what just happened, but it's okay because
but it's important.
No, I agree with you, and I agree with you.
We have respect for Sharp and a lot of our supporters like him.
And so I would like to say a couple of words. I have I feel I trust Sharp more. I don't know who Blakeman is, and I listen. I do not want to. I hate having to just bring in the skin thing, but it is important when it comes to New York City because that's one of the reasons Mamdani won. And a lot of Republicans have done themselves a huge disservice and have completely alienated any moderates or independents or even brand new Republicans. And when I was having a meltdown the other day over the whole Bad Bunny and halftime show and how Turning Point and what they did and how they showed up, that was the point that I was trying to make then. It was bigger than Bad Bunny. It was, you guys miss opportunities when you can grab people. You may not understand how to grab certain people's attention in certain moments, but you missed opportunities. And so, yes, the Republican Party in New York City has done a terrible job in outreaching to Black and brown communities. And to this day, because people have major TDS, I understand what you're saying, Mark, that most of New York is red. I'm wearing red right now. I'm out there saying I'm a Republican, but I'm also nervous about it because people have TDS out in these streets. So somebody like Bruce Blakeman does have to, I hope, do a better job at outreaching. I know that things are starting out at outreaching to communities that are not familiar, do not even know who he is, have never even heard of him before. And that's where I'm going to leave it at that, as that, from that conversation point, because Mamdani won because he saw what was working and what Trump did that worked and what was not working.
I just want to point out in 2022, the Republican Party statewide endorsed a black candidate, if you remember, instead of me, specifically because of his skin color. And he did not campaign very well. He didn't even have a new NYC votes profile. He didn't have a Ballotpedia profile. And I'm just saying, like, I just want to clarify that you know, it's where identity politics doesn't work. We do need people that go out into those communities, whether you're black, brown, or whatever the case may be, because I went and campaigned in the projects, and I had the lease to own option for people who live in the projects to increase their well-being and quality of life. Like, we need candidates, no matter what their skin color is, to actually do the work to solve the problems and not actually just be full of crap and repeat the same BS. So identity politics is BS. That's the Democrats' thing. And yes, people will vote for somebody based on their gender or their skin tone. And those people are called morons because regardless of what skin color or gender you are, you should know what you're talking about and you should know what you're doing. So,
well, you know, Mark, I appreciate that about you, that you're not afraid to go into any community and talk to people. And that includes even the online communities. You get into conversations that I will shy away from, and I have respect for you, and I value that complete aspect of you, which is one of the reasons I love your insights when it comes to politics in this regard. Because in there are other realities in where some of these conversations that have gone so forward thinking with are completely brand new. And so, yes, New York, our point is there's other options besides the horrendous leadership that we are experiencing here in New York City. And I don't know about you, I do not want to see, this is what I'm clear about, I do not want to see Governor Hochul win, which is one of the reasons I think that she yielded to Mamdani in that budget. She wants to get some of his
100%.
votes.
And he's still not going to support her.
That's what I think, like, you know.
Oh
my God.
That's what happens when you appeal to the left. They don't care. They still screw you.
They give no foxes, mi gente. But you know what? We do have a duty to disobey things that go against our constitutional rights. I want to wrap out, before we give our closing comments, a little promo video, a teaser to save the date for June 1st. The three of us are going to be speaking with one of the people regarding this flick, and his name is John Eugene Delarme. He's been confirmed to join us. So, Duty to Disobey is the film bio. They were trained to follow orders. We're talking about military men, but also sworn to defend the Constitution. During COVID-19, U.S. service members were given orders that many believed were unlawful and told their careers depended on compliance. Some obeyed, others refused. Nearly all paid a price. Duty to Disobey reveals what happened to those who refused and why their story matters to every American. This is a film about courage under pressure, institutional failure, and the quiet line where lawful authority ends. I'm going to play the little teaser, and please ask you guys to join us on June 1st for that very special interview.
Hello.
Sorry, that was the wrong.
We're in double overtime. It's getting late. Mistakes happen. It's all good.
This was Uncle Scotty, the man that we started the video with. Okay, so I'll just do this just because I don't want to bring up the wrong video, just in case. I'll just show you. Save the date because this is coming to theaters, and Duty to Disobey is coming to theaters, and we should be watching, and we're going to be interviewing, as I said, June 1st, John Eugene Delarme, who's going to be talking about the film and more about what I just read. All right, I'm not gonna look for another video. Closing comments, guys.
Yeah, well, I'll just start things off. First of all, the Scott Lebedo video was played in the beginning of the show, so if you tuned in late, rewatch the show from the beginning, share it to everybody and their mother and their mother's mothers and their cousins and their brothers and all that other stuff. Share it everywhere. Let's get the word out. They're obviously shadow banning us and giving us technical issues and all that other stuff. So put the word out there. We talk about a lot of important topics and a lot of insightful stuff that hopefully some of these politicians listen to and get inspired to actually do their job for a change and make things better instead of being, either morons or evil or both, where they just do their typical destruction by design in New York. So with that being said, the governor race is coming up. I didn't know who Blakeman was in the beginning of this year, and that's a lot of what happens. And when I was campaigning, people were like, I don't know who you are. And I'm like, well, that's why I'm out here campaigning, so that you can know who I am. If you knew who I was, I wouldn't have to come out and campaign because everybody would know me. So the only way people are going to know you is if you put yourself out there. And that's, this is Blakeman. For some reason, he's the guy. And hopefully he can do enough to beat Kathy Hochul. It's a tough task, but it's not impossible. And just because you don't know him doesn't mean that we shouldn't support him to try to beat Hochul, because we have to get her out of there, and I think he's the best chance. That's not a personal endorsement. I don't think he's the savior of New York or anything like that, but I think he's going to do a better job than Hochul, which is not setting the bar very high, and he could do an amazing job and fix a lot of things, but we got to give him a chance. We know what's happening now, and staying home because you think voting is pointless is a lazy mindset. It's one day out of the year, not even a full day, maybe an hour, maybe less, maybe a little more, to go and vote, or vote by mail, or do whatever you can. Request an absentee ballot, do whatever you can. Put your vote out there and vote red down the line, or look into the candidates and vote for who you think is best, because maybe in some cases the Democrat is the better person. Definitely not the case in the governor race. So make sure you put your vote out there. It doesn't take that much time. Whether you think it's pointless or not, We can't prove that they stole elections if they win legitimately because you didn't show up. So show up, put your vote. Not that much effort. And thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. I'll pass.
The fact that you said, it stuck out to me, that you said it's a hard feat basically to accomplish, to beat Kathy Hochul, that it just shows you how sick the New York mind is, the mindset, the people in New York. It's disgusting. The fact that Kathy Hochul is a hard opponent to beat just puts everything into perspective. She's a total disaster on every front possible. She's fake. She's a sellout. And the fact that it's a tough thing to defeat her is a problem. It's reality, but it's a problem. Now, between Larry Sharpe and Bruce Blakeman, I'm going to hold and see how this campaign goes. I want to hear more from Blakeman. And listen, whoever can beat her, good luck to them. That's what I'm going to say. And the last thing I'm going to say, Zoran Mamdani, you didn't balance your budget. To all you Democratic Socialists, to all you commies, okay, who've been blasting me in my messages, and I've been you guys are ending up in my spam folder. You guys are not very smart. You guys just fell for this con artist. Just read the freaking stuff he's doing. Just look it up. Look at my Substack. I sourced everything. I made sure I put links to everything I said, so I'm not making this stuff up. It's not coming out of my you-know-what. Please go read my Substack. It's substack.kozi or something like that, or kozi.substack. Just go to it, read it, and I guarantee you I put links there, and I source everything I said. Unlike Zoran Mamdani, who just says shit right out of his ass.
One thing about the budget, and that'll be my last comment, is him taking care of the budget is like if I get bills in the mail and I rip them up and throw them in the garbage and say I took care of the bills. That's basically him. That's him balancing the budget.
You freaking
it's
commie.
For later.
You freaking commie. Go to hell, commie.
This show is brought to you by Kozi's Pure Soaps.
Wash your ass.
They're not locked up at the grocery store. They're not locked up at the pharmacy. You can get them right now delivered to you. You don't have to. You don't have to be on camera to get soap. You don't have to get filmed, body cammed. You can just wash your body.
Wash that dirty commie butt.
Ay, Dios mío. Wash your buns and buy Freedom soap. It's free in every way. It's not jailed like when you go to Walgreens and
lock it up. You just message me and I send it right to your doorstep.
Well, I mean, they lost the customer. I'm not going in there anymore, no matter how much I have a chocolate craving. My wrapping out.
You get a chocolate ice cream from the Mr. Softy truck if you got a chocolate
already
cream.
left.
This action alert, guys. I'm dead serious. Tell everybody to call your senator, call your representatives. Just keep calling. Don't call once, call twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times every day. Call multiple times a day till they fucking hate your guts. Because they hate our guts, we're gonna hate it even more. Make sure you kill this bill. Kill the bill, or we're gonna have a problem. Kill the bill.
Oh snap! Sounds threatening, Kozi.
Kill the bill. Kill the bill.
I'm gonna do this for the rest of the night.
And when I mean kill the bill, I'm telling you guys to call and make sure you destroy that bill. They want to focus on that budget, right? They have problems with the budget. If you give them a migraine, they're not going to want to even try that because they're going to say, oh shit, they're going to argue, they're going to cause a headache, they're going to make me look bad. Whatever you can do to stall these lizards, stall them so then they don't have a chance. Because then they can say, you know what, this one's going to be harder to pass because people are going to keep calling me, people are going to show up at my door, at my office. I'll just pass this little pothole bill because that has no controversy. Give them a migraine. Let them
do
work
not
hard.
buy and comply.
Buying is complying.
Don't.
I was trying to remember what you were saying. I messed up your slogan.
See, slogans sound catchy, especially if you can remember them.
Work, especially when you have so many details to remember. Guys, everyone who tunes in to our live show, thank you for hanging out with us for this.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Almost 2 hours at this point. We love you. We appreciate you. We're grateful for your time. I was so happy to see Carla and my nephew the other day, and just everyone that's out there. Many of us have become like a little family during all this time, and that's a blessing. Wherever you are and whatever's happening in your lives, just remember that there's goodness all around you, all around us. There is good energy that always loves on us and wants the betterment for us. And if you call that source, God, Mother, Father, God, I'm not going to argue with you, or Holy Spirit. My point is that you tune in and check in with whatever you have as a faith, and do so often as we get closer to these the heat wave. I anticipate we're going to be covering more of these fun New York City stories, so stay tuned. We have lots of guests coming up and great shows to bring to you, so have a great week and be careful out there in these streets.
Take care, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Cafecito, cafecito, cafecito.